right, so we are live. So there was a setting I forgot to set, which was automatic start feed when I started the feed on Streamlabs. So hopefully that will help us in this situation. Let's see. Hopefully people can see us now. Shows that there's an issue with the bit rate. So hopefully it adjusts. So, hey, there we are. All right. I'm going to turn down the volume from here so you don't necessarily hear me. I got it set to lower latency so that way we can kind of stay on top of our feed. At least the chat, I mean. There we go. Oh, is that my... Oh, yeah, there we go. That's on my phone, too. Looks pretty good there. There we go. All right, so do we need to turn this up? There's turn up the gain a little bit. All right, so we obviously went to Gen Con a couple weeks ago. It was something we didn't think we were going to do, but we were able to. And so I was kind of sad all year because I didn't think I was going to get to go because of the policies in place. And then, like I was talking to a friend about the Goofy movie, a special event that was going to be happening and stuff, and I was telling him, like, I wish I could have been there for that. I wish I could go. He's like, well, do they have like a religious exemption? Do they have a way for you to go? And I said, I don't think so because they never mentioned it. But I said, I'll email them because my friend was kind of like pushing me towards it. So I emailed them and they got back and said, you just need to do this, and make sure you have a COVID test within 48 hours of going. So we actually left Wednesday morning to come to Gen Con. We had the COVID test Tuesday morning, and so we had both negative tests. We were able to go to Gen Con. I never got sick once while I was there. Never been sick after leaving. We're healthy as can be. So thankfully, that was a blessing in disguise. Some of the cool things that we got to experience was Alix got to work in a booth again this year. Something that she likes to do, I think, because she's done it for several years.
I think other than 2019 and then obviously the 2 years after, after that, because 2020 was Gen Con online, and then I didn't go last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So you got to work with Fowers Games this year.
Yeah.
In the past, you've worked for Mayday Games, and then in 2019, you got to work with Dragon Dice.
Yeah.
Dragon Dice, yes.
They were there again this year.
Yep.
But I didn't see anyone I recognized. Otherwise, I probably would have stopped and said hi.
Oh, Cliff was there. I mean, and his daughters were older. They were there too. But Cliff obviously lost a lot of weight. And with masks on, how are you going to recognize everybody, you know? Yeah. They were the booth that had the spinning dice. So it was kind of neat. If you want to chat with us, feel free, ask questions, hang out with us as we talk about our experience with Gen Con. So, day 0, we showed up on Wednesday, got checked into the Hilton. It wasn't a terrible walk to get there. You could either cut through, not Macy's, what was it, TJ Maxx. You could cut in through a TJ Maxx and take an escalator up to like where there were some apartments, and then cut across there to go to where like, what's that restaurant called? Weber Grill. Yep, where Weber Grill was. But the escalator wasn't working there, so we just kept walking and entered right where we could go into Panera Bread. And then we just take the walkway to the mall, and then take that to the convention center. So it wasn't maybe a 6-minute walk, if that. Like if you're like hiking pretty fast. Other than that, like the longest walk I had was carrying Bard Song on my shoulder from the convention hall all the way to our hotel room, because I couldn't just walk around with that on my shoulder all day because I was filming and stuff. So part of me going and was just getting video for the channel. I enjoy doing that, but it does get exhausting after a while. I do get to meet a lot of cool people that way, though. I did take some time this year for myself and played some games. I played Hero Quest. I got to play Bard Song. There was an event that I was wanting to watch. It was people playing Pathfinder, like it was supposed to be some kind of like internet persona group playing. I'm not familiar. It was a free ticket. I didn't get to make it because of like I just needed to get myself something to eat, and sometimes standing in line takes time, so wasn't able to catch it. However, I was able to play a demo of Pathfinder Second Edition at the Paizo booth. They had a huge setup of Abomination Vaults, and that's currently the game that I'm running my group through. I'm a DM for Pathfinder Second Edition. I run every other Friday. I haven't been filming it for the channel because the last time I did, there was like some internet issues, and sometimes it was more of a headache to try to coordinate that. It would be one thing if someone sat in the back and coordinated it while I just ran the game. That would be awesome. But when I have to do both, like I can't take up too much of the time for the guys. You know, they're paying for the experience, so I want to make sure that I am, you know, fair to them. But playing the huge Abomination Vault setting there was pretty awesome. Obviously, within an hour, you're not going to get much done, other than they're there to teach people that aren't familiar with Pathfinder, you know, how it plays. But being able to just take a demo of it was pretty neat. Did you get to see the Abomination Vault?
No, actually I didn't.
Yeah, it was right next to Chaosium, which I know you spent some time at. So, and you were checking out Call of Cthulhu this year. Mm-hmm. And you see anything that piqued your interest?
I mean, kind of, but not really. It was a lot of just more books and, like, scenarios to run through, which that's, you know, I guess a big part of it, because it's another role-playing game.
Mm-hmm. And that uses a D100 system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a game that Alix ran for me and our cousin Zach. I played like an Indiana Jones character. It was set in the 1920s, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
We had to go investigate missing people for a small little town. Found half a body. His name was Clem, and so just kind of ran with it. It was kind of like obviously Call of Cthulhu is in the same universe as like Mansions of Madness, so the mythos, right? So it's supposed to be eerie. There's supposed to be some detective work going on. So it's supposed to be kind of spooky and scary, but it's a decent game, decent system. You know, I like playing the Mansions of Madness, and so I think playing Call of Cthulhu fits me in a sense that way, because, you know, if she likes to run it, I don't have to, and I can just play. Yeah. So what else did you like in JustCon?
I mean, I was working the booth, but then there was a few events that I did myself. So, like, one of the things I did was I got to do a LARP for a live action role play, and so that whole thing was like the late 30s, and we're all working in we're all cartoonists essentially, and we're trying to come up with this grand idea for a cartoon, and we're locked into our offices all night. So that was like the whole theme of it. So that was pretty interesting. There's a lot of nice people there. Some of them were like they'd been doing LARPing for years, and then some of them were newer to it, or it was like their first time. But it was still pretty fun overall. And then I got to demo a game that hasn't come out yet. It's still in development, but it was the Silver Screams.
Oh.
Or, yeah, I think that's what it was called.
Based on like Hollywood monsters.
Kinda. So that I think that was a big part of it, but it was also kind of like just horror movies in general. So like a lot of the character ideas were based off of just like common archetypes you'd find in a horror movie. So you'd have like the jock, the nerd, like the kid who always gets in trouble, like that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. So
the scenario we ran through was like we were working at a graveyard after hours, just trying to get it cleaned up and ready for reopening essentially. And there were zombies. None of us survived. We were close, but no, we didn't make it.
And didn't you get to do like an escape room?
Yeah, I did an escape room too, and that was it was an Edgar Allan Poe themed one. And oh my gosh, I can't think of what the story is itself, but it had to do with the Red Death.
Mm-hmm.
And Masquerade. So we had to go around and find these masquerade masks. And there was a whole bunch of different things. It was really cool.
Oh. Cool. Alright, did you get to check out all the games that were on your top 10 list?
I think I got most of them. I don't think I got all of them, though.
What is one that you didn't that you wish you did?
I don't think I got to see. I'm trying to think.
Did you get to see the Alfred Hitchcock one?
I got to see Rear Window.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't English. Got to see that. I know you showed me a video for Properties, and I kinda got to see Hellenica.
The Story of Greece.
Yeah.
That game looked awesome. Like that was dudes on a map, ancient Greek, you know, just the storyline, the buildings, because like I don't think the buildings are part of the game. I think you get like little tokens, but the 3D model pack, that's where you get those little buildings and stuff, and then you can put cubes on them and stuff. Obviously, those represent I think temples in ancient Greece, and then I think there's like miniatures for some of the gods. I can't remember, but I thought there was. And then obviously there's tons of like military there, you know, because of the miniatures for the military, so you're invading and stuff. And it's a 4X game. It's not necessarily a true 4X game, but if you flip the board over, there's where the exploration comes in, because you can either have the open Greece map. I don't know if you call it the Roman world or whatever, but just like where Greece is, everything is there, and you can explore there, kinda. But the other side, there's like no visible tiles, like there are no spaces. You have to add tiles to it, and that's where the exploration comes in. For the true 4X is what the gentleman was talking to me about. It looked really neat. He had a really good deal on it. Like basically, you could get the base game and 2 expansions. Like the expansions were like the model pack, and then the actual expansion. I think he said $175 for everything. It was like normally $150 just for the base game.
Yeah.
But it was discounted down to I think $100. And then he said the expansion was like normally $100 by itself, but they had that sell. And by the time you went there, I think did they still have one left, or did they sell it?
They still had one left, and
on display.
Yeah.
You didn't buy as many games as I thought you would have this year, but that's okay.
Yeah. I don't know. There's part of me that wishes I would have got more games, but at the same time, it's like I already have games that either I still need to play or I just don't have the people to play with. And I think that was the biggest thing with I wanted to get Hellenica, but it's just I don't have the people to play it with.
I'm sure that Jared would definitely play that game. He likes dudes on a map. John Moore likes some dudes on the map. So there's definitely some people there, but yeah, trying to get them coordinated would be a little more difficult. So yeah. Is there any game that you really liked?
Ooh, trying to think, what was it called? So it was a game that I didn't have on my top 10 list, but it was just a game that I ended up checking out, and I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was like some sort of like detective game, so you're trying to solve this crime, and you have like it's like a little like your own little notepad, and you have like a dry erase marker that you're using. I can't remember what it was called, but that one looked really cool and interesting. And then
I'm surprised you're not talking about Vampire the Masquerade chapters.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. Because that's the one that you kept on wanting to go back to check out.
Yeah. So that game was really well put together. I actually got to meet the designer and creator of the game, and I got to like talk with him for a little bit about it. So that was really fun. I got to sit and I watched a couple people play the game itself, and then I actually got to sit in and do a demo of it on my own time. So that was really fun.
And is it a card game, board game,
so
RPG?
It's more board game than RPG, but it does have some of that aspect to it. It's definitely a great way to start getting into the Vampire Masquerade like universe. So like they have that. They have Rivals, which is the card game, and then they have just Vampire the Masquerade, which is the RPG. And then there's also apparently video games, which I don't know if like the RPG and the card game is based off the video games. I would think so, but
yeah, I'm not sure, honestly. So
it's definitely interesting. And then I know that they're coming out with, I think, called Werewolf the Affliction or something like that. I don't know. I saw there's like a couple signs for it, and then they had some of the pieces out for it in the room that they're the World of Darkness room. I'll call it. So I was kind of looking at that. That seemed interesting too, because I think that one is going to be more like the vampire chapters.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool. So I got to do a speed painting event. That was fun. I didn't win, unfortunately, but there were some really good paint jobs there. I think if I would have spent a little more time on my miniature, I could have done better. But in my mind, I couldn't think of anything else to do because to me the miniature looked perfect in a sense. Like in my mind, I don't think I would have wanted to do anything else. However, after seeing some of the other people's miniatures, like we all got the same miniature to paint, and so like it's like a cat folk wizard holding an orb. Like I could have done a little bit more to the orb to make it look like swirls inside, and then dry brushed on some like colored that similarly matched the orb to make it appear like it was glowing. But yeah, I mean, I think I showed some pictures of it in on the daily updates I was doing. Like I'd take photos or just small clips of footage just to collaborate together at the end of the day to do like day 1, day 2, some of the things that we were checking out. So yeah. So going back to some of the other events I did, I was gonna do a Goofy Movie board game, not the special event, just the game, but I decided not to, just because of like that would be time where I could have dinner, and we already have the game, so you weren't gonna be there to play, so it was like why? But then I got to go to the Goofy Movie special event, and so how I got to go to that was that someone must have returned a ticket. And so I snagged that thing up like no tomorrow. And it was amazing. It was probably the best event that I had ever experienced at any of the Gen Cons I had ever been to. And so I actually told the guy that organized the event that. And he's like, you guys are going to make me cry. So, like, meeting the voice actors of Max and Goofy, obviously Bill Farmer and Jason Marsden, was the highlight of the whole show to me. It was great. Just getting to, like, obviously I grew up watching Jason Marsden, right? So like he played in Step by Step, he played in Boy Meets World, he was on there a few times, and then he was also the voice of Binks, Thackeray Binks, the cat, and I got to ask him the question like, how did that come to be? Like, how did you get to be the voice of the cat but didn't get to act in the movie? And he was saying basically that the person that they casted, which is his friend, sounded too West Coast, essentially, that it didn't sound like old-time English very well. And said, but they had the whole film already done. They just needed a voiceover. And so they had to recast him, saying every single line, not just as the cat, but also as the actor. And so we have Dante here. He just showed up. He said that even in the scene where Thackeray climbs up the watermill and comes into the window and like he's breathing through his nose, Jason said that was him breathing, making the breathing noises, so they could just cover over it. What are you doing, Dante?
We're making a video, bud.
Yeah, we're live streaming. You want to say hi to everybody in the YouTube world?
Hi. No, look at the camera.
Yeah, the camera, buddy. So. But yeah, then just getting to be able to hang out with them. Then obviously Bill Farmer's played. I think he said he played Goofy since 1987. I think he said. I can't remember. I have to go back and look at the footage, but if I recorded it. But yeah, so that means I grew up with him being Goofy, and it was one of my favorite characters at Disney, since I was a kid. I've always been a Goofy fan. I think I like Goofy more than I liked Mickey, because he's Goofy. Yeah. But then not only did we get to play the game, we got to watch, a Goofy movie as we played, and we got to chat with them. They were making comments as we were watching the movie with them, as we were playing. Like, I played as Max. When I played the board game, and I actually got to win. I won as Max. I had the most points at the end of the game. And obviously, Jason Marsden made a comment about that. He's like, yes! Like, Max, he always wins, in a sense, so. It was just a great time, just to sit back and recollect it all.
Hands out.
The only difficulty was that it was a later event. Like, it started at 8. No, 7. It started at 7 and went to it did start at 8. It went from 8 to 11. Yeah. 8 to 11.
Because I think I ended up walking back to the hotel.
Yeah, you did, because we got in line for the Renegade Games giveaway community party is what they called it. Was it at 7?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was at 6.
No, it started at. Maybe not. No,
I
maybe
thought
it
the
started
line started at we stood in a really long line,
Yeah.
and we almost debated not. No, we're not gonna press those buttons, Dante.
Oh, I want to
Buddy, I know you don't press buttons, but we're live on YouTube, and so if you press these buttons, the people cannot hear us. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
We're not playing. We're talking with people.
When you're done, can I press
Maybe.
those 2 buttons?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We have a stream deck, and there's various buttons that you can push to do sound effects and whatnot, and he likes to come in here and press those buttons.
Oh boy.
All right. But yeah, like the Renegade Games social community party.
Yeah, the line was just super long, and
Yeah. We didn't think we were gonna stay for the whole line because we just thought like this is ridiculous. Like I'm not gonna be able to do this while I'm trying to go to my other event. Sorry, Dante's hanging off a door. There we go. And but we stuck it out, and I actually won a game. I won the G.I. Joe deck builder. No, it was a Transformer. I grabbed the G.I. Joe. I'm like, I don't know if I want this, so I took the Transformers. And then I decided I didn't want it, and so on the last day, because that was Saturday night that they had that community party, I took it with me to Gen Con to see if maybe I could trade it, and I did. I actually traded it for a game that I was really wanting, which is this game right here. If I can pull it out here. Mortem, Medieval Detective. So, if you don't know anything about this one, it's kind of like a medieval deduction game here. The artwork looks amazing on it. And so there's like stuff you can get to upgrade it, like more I don't want to say like an expansion, but maybe it is an expansion. It says like the encounter. There's other things there that they had at the Arcane Wonders booth. So, and I learned that Arcane Wonders is going to be making more Mage Wars stuff. I don't know if that means Mage Wars, the board game, or the Academy, which is the card-driven version. But anyways, getting back to Renegade Games. But they had a ton of stuff to give away. I think I had a total of 4 tickets, like raffle tickets. You had a total of 5 because you got to hit every single Renegade area, right?
Yeah.
There was one that I missed. I think it was the upstairs one. But by the time I wanted to do it, like it was closed because they would close at a certain. No, it wasn't the upstairs one. It was the
World of Darkness.
The World of Darkness one.
Because we both went to the upstairs room one.
Yeah. Yeah, any questions, any comments? Did you get to go to Gen Con? I hear crickets, literally, from outside. So I'm trying to think of some other events I did, because I feel like I did more than just
we both went to the Castle Panic 2nd edition.
Oh yeah,
launch.
we went to the 2nd edition launch party. That was so awesome. We got so close to winning a copy of the game. Like 2 people at our table won, which means like she took her ticket, she handed me the 3, and then I took one, then I handed them 2. So if I would have taken from the other end of the set of tickets, I could have won, or she could have won if she would have taken. But that was awesome for them that they won. Little jealous, but you know it's okay. It's okay.
It's like with the Renegade party because there's you and me, and then there's 2 people behind us, and they ended up giving the tickets. Like, they ended up skipping me, giving tickets to the other 2 people, and then they came back to me. Yeah. But both of those people ended up winning something.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, if I would have gotten one of their tickets.
Yeah. Oh, what would you have gotten?
See, I don't know. I don't know what they would have had at the time, but if they would have had something for, like, Vampire Masquerade, I probably would have gotten that.
They were giving away some of the RPG stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it depends on which set they're giving away at the time. Well, I guess as long as you put your ticket in that specific bucket, right? Fishbowl or whatever. So they had different, I don't call it genres or anything, but they had different like buckets where you could put one for games that were released, special communication with I think the VP of the company, or you could put one in for games that haven't been released yet.
Or there's like miniature, like painted miniatures.
Oh yeah,
and
painted
that sort of
miniatures.
thing,
Yep.
too.
Yep. Or just miniatures.
Yeah.
There. Some were painted, some were not. Yep. So there was those different things. So if you would have put it into the unreleased stuff yet, because technically like My Little Pony deck game was in the unreleased because it wasn't officially released. They were just selling it, at Gen Con.
Yeah.
The Vampire the Masquerade RPG stuff I think was still on like pre-order, so that would have been not released yet. Things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did get to go to the Dice Tower show, the live show from Gen Con. I think it was live. Recorded or live. They used to be live. I just can't remember if it was live this year. That's always a great time. It's only an hour. Getting to listen to them banter back and forth. I'm a fan of the Dice Tower. I got to obviously meet the cast again. Like every year I go, I usually meet them. But this year I actually bought like a player mat of them, of the Dice Meeples, I guess you call them. And I had Tom Vassell sign over his, which actually looks like a shadow. No, sorry, it's not Dice Meeples. No, I'm thinking of the wrong one. I bought the superhero one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I had Tom Vassell sign his name over his character or his portrait, which looked like a villain, perhaps. And then I had Jason Levine sign his, which he looked like he had some kind of mind power. But he actually was working at the Arcane's Wonder booth for most of the show, so that's where I got him to sign it. I had Z Garcia sign it. I had, what's his name? Rod? Canada. Canada sign it. So, he spent most of his time at the Gray Fox booth demoing his new game, Last Light, which then I was able to actually get a video of him showing it off to me. And then once I uploaded it, I shared it with him on Facebook, and then he blasted it on Facebook. So, and he gave me, a prop for it. So that's awesome. Put me out there a little bit. So Roy Canada. I don't know what I'm saying Rob for, but Roy Canada. Wow. So yes, it was a great experience being there. I got to demo a lot of games, obviously, because as they're giving the spiel and stuff.
Excited to, just not in the same way you did.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, was there any other games that I did? Events I did. I thought I did something on Thursday. And I know I did something on Friday. Friday was the Hero Quest.
I know you tried to do something with magic.
Yes. So that was Saturday?
Maybe. Because I know you had one for, in the morning on one of the days, and then you had one in, the afternoon. And you didn't end up doing the morning one because no one showed up for it.
Maybe it was Friday, because the special event Goofy Movie was Saturday night. Yeah.
So it was probably Friday.
Yep. That had been Friday. I did a lightning round Magic the Gathering. Commander, that is. So what it was is you play Commander, but you get to draw back up to 7 cards during the upkeep, and you can play 2 lands per turn. So it just sped up the process. And I was playing with my Ninja deck, Commander deck, and I did really, really well. But in the end, I fell to somebody else. They made a deal with me to not attack me until somebody else was taken out. But they said, sorry, I'm going to have to break our cord, and he killed me and everyone else. So, but that's okay. That's okay. I should have been attacking him, because I think I could have killed everyone by attacking him, because I have the Commander Ninja that ninjutsus from the Commander Zone, and whenever any ninja does combat damage to a player, for every ninja that did combat damage, I get to reveal the top card of my deck, and I get to deal damage based on the converted mana cost of each card that had mana. So, yeah. I did get an 8 a.m. On-demand Magic ticket event, and no one showed up at 8 a.m., so I was able to get my ticket refunded.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, what else was there? I did the Bard Song on Sunday. So, can't remember. But I got a really good deal on Bard Song. Obviously, I was able to I got a special deal on this. It's I went there on Thursday before they opened. They were telling me about like they had this special deal for, I think it was $350 for everything. The base game was normally $200, but they had a special show cost it $150. But I didn't like. I just couldn't justify spending that much money on one thing, and I kind of just like batted it around in my head for a couple days. But each day they would run out of certain things. And so on Saturday, they were all out of the neoprene mats. They were all out of something else. I can't remember what it was. It was another, I think, mini expansion or something. But basically, I paid $213 for the base game, extra set of dice. I got the lost levels, the upper levels, and the hobgoblins. And I didn't want the 3D doors, because I have 3D doors, so there's no sense in me getting 3D doors, paying for them and stuff. And so they discounted that off that, and that's how I got everything for $213, which I plan to do an unboxing of that soon. So I think the best event, like game-wise, that I got to play was probably Hero Quest. It's one of my favorite games, and being able to just sit down and play that was awesome. I was really upset that I didn't get to actually play in a Pathfinder 2nd Edition event. There wasn't a whole lot of Pathfinder 2nd Edition events. There seemed to be a lot more 1st Edition, and I was really wanting to play 2nd Edition.
Yeah.
And I think part of it, too, is that some of the Sagamore Ballroom was being used for the vaccine check-in.
Mm.
Which, like, I heard, like, nightmare stories of the vaccine check-in line. Like, we had some people that were staying with us. We shared a room at the Hilton with a couple other people. And one guy didn't get in until really late, like, I think, like, 11. And the other person didn't get in until after midnight. But they were saying, like, they went to go get in line, and they waited. It wasn't, for them, it wasn't as long as some of the people, but, like, we walked through it after, like, dinner, and, like, the line literally looped around the whole top part of the convention center. And they said that they had to wait, like, almost an hour and a half, 2 hours for, just to get checked in. And then they had to go get in line for the vaccine.
Yeah.
For us, we just walked into the special registration booth. I think it was a special something booth. I can't remember what it was called. Special, it wasn't events. It was right next to the customer service, so maybe it was special services. I think maybe that's what it was, special services booth. Like, there was one person in front of us. We got there. We had to provide a statement of how our faith impacts our ability to get the vaccine, and state that I've never gotten a vaccine in my adult life that went against my religion, and some other things, right? So I created this long document. It was one page, but it was very wordy. She created one too, and then we get up there, and they're like, "We just want to see your COVID test."
Yeah, like they didn't even care.
They didn't care about. Yeah, I was like, I wrote all this and did all this work for Okay, all right, here you go. So then we thought I was told that we would actually have a different band that said exempt on it. However, we got the same band as everyone else.
Yeah.
Which my fear was that if we did get an exempt band, how would we been treated? Like, I was afraid we would have been shunned or attacked, in a sense, verbally attacked by some people. But thankfully, maybe Gen Con figured that might happen, so just, instead of letting people get harassed, give everyone the same band, and, so we went on our merry way. And then at that time, there was, like, nobody in will call either, so, like, that line was super low. Like, usually when I get in there, I have to go all the way down by Wabash, those rooms down there, and just wait to get to the will call, but we just hopped right into will call. Matter of fact, there was someone behind us that didn't have a mask on, and she didn't know, she was in the wrong line to begin with. I think she needed to get vax checked, but she got out. Yeah. Anyways, that's a little rabbit trail there.
That was probably like the smoothest and shortest time for like lines ever.
Yep. One game that I wish I would have picked up, and I'm really kicking myself for because I think I'd really love this game. It's called First Rat. So basically, you have little rat meeples, and you are trying to collect parts to create a rocket ship to go to the moon because the moon is, I think, cheese. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And so you're collecting like baking soda and vinegar because obviously they react and shoot out the rocket, a pop bottle and things like that. And so the reason I didn't is because they were charging full MSRP. I think it was like $40, $45 at the booth. And I wouldn't, like, every time I went there to go check it out, get a demo, it was always full. And so it was finally, I think, Saturday that I was able to stop in, get a video, and they had sold out. I was like, crud muffins. So, and now every place, the pre-orders are all sold out.
Jeez.
So, I was like, yeah. I even tried to buy the demo copy, and it was actually the designer's copy. And she's like, if I sell this to you, I won't have one. So I'm like, man. So, but, I did pick up enough games that I don't have to worry about it. So, what games did you get this year?
So I got 2 games from Tim Fowers, which was the guy I worked for. So I ended up getting Now Boarding, which is a game that I actually wanted, and that was kind of like my payment. And then I also ended up getting Burgle Bros.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The first one. I got a couple things for Vampire the Masquerade. I know I pre-ordered some of like the Rivals, so I got like 2 things for Rivals, and then there's like extra cards.
Promo cards, promo packs, yeah.
And then what else? I got the Mirroring of Mary King by, I think it's a Deviant Weasel. I think that's the company. Yeah, so their booth was like kind of diagonal from ours, so I'd kind of like seen it, but I was like, I wanted to go check it out, so I did. And I actually got the designer of that game to sign it, so that was pretty cool. When we went, obviously I got the Catapult Game from Mayday Games.
Oh yeah, yep.
What, Catapult Castle, I think is what it's called.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think so.
It's almost like Coconuts. If you guys ever played Coconuts, where you put the little rubber ball into the monkey's hands and it shoots into the cups. Like I always joke around and say that's monkey poo, because monkeys throw their poo, because it looks like a little turd, but it's actually a coconut. And so we, obviously, because we have a relationship with the owner of Mayday Games, we always make sure that we stop and say hi. Like I actually took him and his wife a loaf of zucchini blueberry bread that my wife had made and stuff. So it's just the first Gen Con that Alix ever went to. What year was that? 2016?
That was, oh boy.
Because the first year I went was 2014, or no, 2013.
Yeah.
Yep, 2013. So maybe 2015 was your first year going. It's either 2015, 2016.
I'm sure I could look, because I've kept all of the badges.
Yeah.
So.
We were just sitting down for lunch. I think it was on a Friday afternoon. And this gentleman comes up and said, hey, can we sit with you? Because obviously if you go to right there, the little food common area, right when you first walk into the front doors on Capitol Avenue, there's that little food court there or whatever. Like, I wouldn't call it a food court, but it's just like a little common area. Like there's a couple small little fast food joints. Like one's like they got burgers and the other one, I can't remember what it has. Pizza, I think it is. And so we're like, yeah, sure, that's fine. And got to talking and stuff. And I said, hey, this is my daughter's first Gen Con, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, hey, I'm the owner of Mayday Games. His name is Seth. And he's like, hey, if you want to come work for me, I'll give you some free games. And, and obviously I would check on her frequently because that'd be a great experience for her. And developed a relationship. And then the next day, he said, if you want to come back, because obviously he liked the idea of having a child there demonstrating child games, because then it's it's a bigger sell to families.
Yeah.
Because if a kid can teach it to another kid or to an adult. And so he loved that. We loved that. She loved that. She got a ton of free games that year.
Yeah,
from
definitely.
Seth. So, yeah. And then the next year she went, they paid for her badge to go. I think they even gave me a badge to help her get in, to get to their booth. So yeah, I got to know Ryan a little bit more. Ryan used to be like the VP there, but now, last I knew, he was working at Queen Games.
Yeah.
Ryan Bruns, and then now he's working for Elf Creek Games. So throughout the years we got to make connections with people, get to know people, and I think that's great. Obviously, I know Kevin Berkheimer or Berkey from Game Toppers, so I actually took him a loaf of bread this year. And he wasn't there. I actually messaged him and said, hey, where are you at? Like, I got, a loaf of bread for you, for my wife. He's like, I didn't get to go this year. And, He was like talking about some things, and I said, well, I got to go, and I got an exemption, and he's really intrigued that I got to go because of that. And so a lot of people probably didn't go because it wasn't advertised that they were giving certain kind of exemptions. I know they at one time, I think they mentioned medical exemptions, but they actually gave religious exemptions, and I'm sure they had other kinds of exemptions. You know, I've seen people in there that had like basically like a bubble mask instead of like a face mask. I've seen people with face shields. So, you know, I thought that the policy stated that people had to have an actual face mask, but maybe they had medical exemption where they didn't have to have the actual mask, but more of a covering. One thing I seen on Sunday I didn't care for. No, it was Saturday. I take it back. There was a gentleman that came into the exhibit hall right as they opened, and he was not wearing a mask at all, and the girl that was with him had her mask down below her chin. And I don't care about those things, but what I didn't like is he had his chest all puffed up, and he just looked like he was waiting for someone to say something to him. I was like, that's just a little uncalled for. You know, like you got people here just trying to enjoy themselves. Why are you trying to create a problem? And so maybe I should have said something or asked him, but I didn't feel it was my place. I was trying to get, at that time I was waiting to get a demo of the Marvel Dice Throne, which I happened to go there and pick up an expansion for, what is it, the Sorcerer's Arena, and at that time when I was at the op booth, somebody had had a table set up and you could roll these special like 6-sided dice, and if you can get all, was it 5 or 6 dice have the same symbol, like I think it was a 6, but they had a special symbol, you know, representing Dice Throne on it. You got to one, you were able to win like the huge treasure trove of like all the characters for the Marvel Dice Throne. And at that time, a gentleman in a wheelchair rolled all of those, and so I was able to go over there and congratulate him, and then they tore it all down because apparently they only had one to give. I'm like, I want to try to roll some dice and win a game. So. Yeah. I was, on the last day, we were getting ready to leave. I went to go, like I had set in my mind that I wanted to get a demo of the Scooby-Doo board game that was coming out from CMON. And so we went over to the CMON booth and we met with a gentleman. I asked him if I could record it. He's like, I don't think so. I mean, like you'd have to ask my boss. And so I went and asked his boss. He's like, yeah, that's fine. You know, and I went back and I told him, and he was like, okay. So we sat down. And I started recording, introduced him, and then focused the camera onto the board game. And then he just stopped, said, I can't do this. I was hoping my boss would tell you no. And I felt bad for the guy. And since I was a little frustrated because I just wish he would have been upfront and honest with me in the beginning. But he basically had like a meltdown in that moment. Like I just don't feel comfortable. I can't do this. And then I seen him, like, as soon as we got up and left, he like ran over to his boss and was talking to her and stuff. Like he kind of like knelt down. Like he was losing it, you know. So I felt kind of bad, but then it's like, if you didn't want us to, all you had to do was just tell me no, you know, because obviously I asked the people, because at first they have to give me the permission to film them, you know, and if they don't feel comfortable, it's okay, you know.
It's like, you should tell us.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going to get mad about it. It's just, like, you tell us now, and we're like, okay, well, can you still just explain the game to me?
Yeah. I felt frustrated because I was embarrassed at that moment. Like, why can't you just tell me no?
Yeah. Which I know I took that time to look at a game, like another game that they had set up. Don't remember what it was.
They had a Looney Tunes game set up. They had,
it was the Plague Inc. game. That's the one that I went to go look at.
The what?
Plague Inc.
Oh, yes, Plague Inc., yep. It's like the cell phone app game or something, right?
Yeah, so it's like a mobile device game where basically you're playing as like some sort of disease and you're trying to infect people. Well, instead of like, it's basically you are fighting other diseases or competing against other diseases of the same type to kill off the most people, instead of it just you trying to kill off, well, everyone in the world, pretty much.
Sounds interesting. I have to try it. They also had the, it's not Justice League. What is that with like Robin and
Teen Titans?
Teen Titans, yes. They had Teen Titans board game set up. I remember seeing those. So, but like from the moment that I had seen the Scooby-Doo on Wednesday, because obviously once I got my exhibitor badge, I was able to go through the event hall, and I just started getting some video and stuff of that. That was one of the first things that stuck out to me. So I was like, I'm kind of glad I waited the last moment, because at that time I was kind of tired, but I was like, I just want this one last video.
Mm-hmm.
So it made it easy when we got up and left, because then we just went straight back to the hotel room.
But I think, we ended up getting one more video, like, right before they
Closed?
closed.
Oh.
That was for, I don't know what the game was, but it was, like, right over, it was, like, close to the doors.
Yes. I'm trying to remember what that was. Because that was it AEG?
Maybe? I think so.
Or it was over there by AEG. Yeah. But I remember, like, the guy was probably tired.
Yeah.
He did his best, but then all of a sudden, like, you hear the big booming voice coming down from above. Saying, hey, it's, you got 10 minutes left or 5 minutes left or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so, after he tried to talk while I was talking, but then he was just like, no. So, I can't remember if I actually uploaded that video or if I just made it part of the day 4,
Yeah.
So some of the best things I seen was the Avalon Hills area, which was in the demo hall.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Hall D.
Yeah.
That was probably the best setup of a booth I seen. They had like where it had Betrayal on one side, and the Crow had like red eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had the Hero Quest on one side. There was something that had red eyes on that too. I can't remember what it was, but I just remember the big broadsword that you could actually hold and take a picture with. They had obviously a really nice demo area for that, so I got to play Hero Quest. They actually gave me a copy of the quest that they had set up for the con. They had adventure kits, which were just like little maps, and you can fill in the stuff with your, make up the room or the adventures you go. It was like a whole pad of them. And they had like a bunch of promo cards, or I'd say printouts, because you have to cut the cards out. But yeah. So I was able to do that. What else? The Weirwood Manor was one of those games that looked really cool. It's obviously if you go and check out the video, you can see it, but it's like a big circular board, and like there's different.
That's the one that like moves,
yeah,
right?
All the different inner circles move, and so they're based on the day that you're on and the time of the day you're on, and basically you're trying to reach other rooms at those times and stuff, because it unlocks rooms or it gives access to those rooms. That looks super cool, but hasn't even came to Kickstarter yet, which they're hoping to do some more. They call it a tour. They're on tour, so they're showing it off. And I'm like, let me play it. Come on. So that was kind of neat. Necro Molds was there. That was that was so cool. That reminded me of like things from when I was a kid. Like there was, I can't exactly remember what it's called right now, but there was like a lab where you can make your own insects, and I think there was things that you could do to make out of like clay, but the insects you could actually eat them. Like, they were like gummies and stuff.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking
something.
about.
I can't remember what it was.
I know what you're talking about.
But just kind of that kind of like 80s vibe to me, 80s, 90s vibe to me.
Yeah, because it was just Play-Doh.
Yeah, you just smashed Play-Doh, and I kept trying to tell the guy to let me buy the copy he had, but that was his only copy there. He said that obviously all the ones that they made in Kickstarter sold out or whatever, and they were shipped, and so they had another Kickstarter coming soon. So I might be getting into that. But yeah, that was something that was really cool. The first rat's already mentioned. Trying to think of some other things that really stuck out to me.
Oh no, you took me over to go check out Final Girl, but when we went over there, they had like sold out for like the base game, and so they only had like, I guess, expansions for it.
But you need the base game to be able to play those.
Yeah.
But then we went back later and everything was sold out. That was at Van Ryder Games. So yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that really just stuck out to me. Obviously, like, Renegade Games had a really great presence there. What else? Oh, I got to play the One Piece card game. That was kind of neat. I was kind of expecting the game to be more complex than it actually was. So playing it and getting it going, I was kind of expecting it to be like Magic, like all these different rules set, and like I was like, oh, is this like kind of asking? I wouldn't say the same question over and over again, but just asking different questions in an order of fashion that hopefully I didn't annoy people, but I just want to make sure I understood, because it's like I just want to make sure that there wasn't anything extra that needed to happen. Very simple game. I liked it. Not bad. I actually have the deck that I played with, and so I might actually try to pick up another deck once they finally come out, because I don't think they're out yet. eBay was there giving out games.
Yeah.
I actually could have gotten a game, but based on what they were telling me what it was like an auction game. Like it's,
Yeah.
you know, I just didn't think it'd get played, and I didn't want to take a game that wasn't going to get played, so I decided not to take it.
Yeah. I think that's another big issue with games is either like we're not gonna have the time to play it, we're not gonna have the people to play it, or it's just never gonna get the table time because we're not really interested in what the game is.
Yeah.
Because I don't really think we have many like auction games.
No. I don't even think of one that we actually have.
I know I looked at Raw because that was a game on my list
Yeah.
that I wanted to go and see, but it was an auction game, so that's kind of that's why I didn't want it. It's just that's not my thing.
Right. I was disappointed that the Warhammer's booth did not have the Warhammer Quest Lost Relics, or even to show it on demo. Like I was there. That was the first booth I went to Thursday morning when I first got into the exhibit hall before the exhibit hall opened. I went straight there, beeline there, was looking for it there, and I asked the guy because they were still kind of setting things up. Right, they had like a huge mech statue. I think it was like what you call a Marine from I'll call them Space Hulks or whatever, from the Warhammer 40K. They were setting that up and stuff, so they were cleaning. There were people putting stuff on the shelves. But I said, hey, do you have any of the Warhammer Quest Lost Relics? He's like, Warhammer Quest? Like, I don't think we got any of that here. I'm like, okay. So I went back every morning just to make sure that, maybe they just had it and didn't know or something, And then so finally I went back there on Saturday and said, hey, like, did you guys get any of the Warhammer Quest Lost Relics? And they said, that's actually only going to be at Barnes & Noble. That's a Barnes & Noble exclusive. And I said, oh, that stinks. And I showed him the page where, like, BGG had that game listed as a game that would be there at the show, even if it was demo or not. He said that, unfortunately, there's a series of games that are only going to Barnes & Noble. However, I did check Barnes & Noble last Friday, and it was on pre-order there, so I did pre-order it, and so that's going to be coming in. I'm a fan of the Warhammer Quest series. I'm on the fence of getting these, Cursed City. So Warhammer Quest Cursed City. I'm on the fence of getting that. I've heard mixed reviews, and it's a lot of money. Like, I don't know if I want to spend the money, because I don't have to if I don't really need to. So I got a ton of other games that we need to go through. So some of the things that we're going to be doing here soon is we just did an unboxing video of the Legends of Sleepy Hollow. I'm in the process of editing that video to get it up and going. I'm going to be doing an unboxing of Bard Song. I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the Sorcerer's Arena. And that one looks really fun. I can't wait to do that one. What else? There's like we got all the games, and I finally was able to put them somewhere, so I can't remember. Obviously, I got the Hunger, the expansion here. I need to do a review for Hunger. I did get the Merchants of Dark Road myself. I need to do a playthrough of that. Oh, so we got some things that are coming up. But last but not least, we have the contest winners from the 300, right? So hopefully people are going to be paying attention in this video. So let's get down to it, right? So the first winner, his name is, and I'm probably going to butcher this name because I don't think he's from the U.S. It's Ben Du Toit. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Congratulations. I'm going to get with you on email and figure out a way of how we can get you a prize, right? Because I don't think you're in the U.S. And so then we're going to go to the next winner, and we're going to say congratulations to Philip Petrus. He's won things before.
Yes.
And so can you hand me that game right there? You're going to be getting a copy of, this is an open copy but never played, of Commissioned. Right? And you're also going to be getting, I wish I had a little drum cue, right? Star Crunch. So I love Star Crunches. I grew up eating them as a snack, so you're going to be getting one of those. If I have to put it in the box, hopefully, but if I can get it in a box big enough and tuck this on the side, it's definitely going. And then, last but not least, we have Randall Adkins. You won Mr. Sinister Crisis Protocol miniature and, drumroll, a Star Crunch! Woo! So, we'll get those out to you guys here soon. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out with us and watching this video. And we'll see you guys next time.